Hi guys and welcome back to my new video. Today I want to talk about how I got my dream apprentice job that I'm gonna be doing after I graduate, and I'm gonna just talk how I got it, how I got to the point of wanting the job, and just some information because I think storytelling is great. So let's get into it. Okay, so how I decided I want to be a bank employee. I was there for a week to just like gain some work experience from whatever job I wanted, right? And so I chose the bank because I was like, okay, they don't really do a lot of stuff. They just sit there and assist the people, right? So I was like, okay, let me do this. And so I applied. I was there for a week, and it was actually really fun. I've got to see a lot of things, and it just made me want to have this job. So now we have to like choose where we're gonna go after we graduate. For some people it's college, apprenticeship, whatever. For me it's gonna be apprenticeship, and then from that point on I can build myself up to be, I don't know, more, right? I actually almost became a software engineer, but then I was like, I don't know what they do except they code things. But coding is mostly not what they do the entire time. So I was like, okay, you know what, let me just apply to a bunch of different banks. I can't lie, I applied to like 6 of them. And got accepted by 1. So I applied the first one and declined me. Just straight declined me. The second one we got to do like group projects with other people who also applied there, so they could see how well we work in our group and stuff like that. I can't lie, I'm quite an introvert. I don't really like working with people I don't know, except I'm forced, right? Here, one person was just really a yapper, and he did all the work because he just like literally like put himself out there and did everything. So everyone else from his group actually got eliminated, including me. So yeah, and I was actually losing hope because I got declined so many times, but then I would just like give myself a pep talk, like, like if this was meant to be, if I was meant to work there, I would be working there and I would get accepted. But obviously that didn't really give me much hope, and it didn't really help me. I was still really like, am I going to be employed? Because I actually wanted to go to college, but then again it was like, what if I fail and then I have worse grades than I did now? So you know what, let me just get a job. So then I actually switched from wanting to be a bank employee to actually being more into finances job. There I applied to multiple workplaces. One declined me, one answered really late, and one is a story time for later. So then like 1 month later I got an answer from one bank saying they want to get to know me in a personal conversation, right? So I had to do a presentation about myself where I had to list my hobbies, the things I like, why I want to be a bank employee, why at this bank and not at all other banks, whatever. So I did that and I went there, and it actually took 2 hours. 2 hours. Because after I presented, they like asked me questions and then we like talked a little bit. They were so nice and so friendly. I like it, but I also kind of hate it when people are like super like open and friendly, because it makes me want to tell them so much. But then again, if I told too much, I don't want them to have the wrong impression of me, right? It took 2 hours, which I did not expect. I expected like half an hour to an hour max, but 2 hours was a positive thing actually. So after I did that, a day later, okay, because at the day where I had that conversation, they told me they are gonna call me in this week sometime, right? To tell me their answer, like yes or no, right? So one day later, they called me. I'm like shaking. I'm going crazy. And it's like, and then I picked up, and then they were like, okay, you know what? We just wanna tell you or answer, right? So I was like, okay, sure. And then they accepted me. I got accepted, and at that moment I was so happy. I started crying. Yeah, and then I went to my dad to tell him the news, and then we cried together. I cried, he cried, we cried together. You know, type thing, right? Anyways, and then they sent me the like bunch of documents that I have to fill out, put my signature there and a bunch of stuff. I got a job and I'm gonna make that back. I'm gonna bag it. So a little backstory that I completely forgot to tell earlier, but like they had to call me, right? Because the school is in Munich and I live quite far from there. So they called me while I was in the gym, okay? I was in this like secluded area, right? I see someone with that number, I don't know, call me. So I'm like, let's see what this camera wants, right? So I pick up and the person says, are you Miss my last name? I got so scared. I hung up. I literally hung up on them. I still got the job, but I hung up on them, right? So then I went to the toilet in the gym and I was in a stall and I called them back and then I was like, I was not really in a private area, but now I can talk. And then she told me, oh, it's okay, if you want we can just call later. And then I ended my gym session there, went home, and then she called me again and told me if that's okay, that my school is so far away from me, if I can still go there. And after I said that, then they invited me to that conversation, because first they obviously wanted to know, like, is that fine with me? How will I get there? And you know, those stuff. The funny part is I thought that you have to be perfect. You have to write a perfect thing to get a job. Like your resume has to be flawless. You can't have any gaps, which I thankfully don't have. And you know, I just thought you had to have a bunch of perfect traits whatsoever. It's not really about your traits, it's more about your character. Before they invited me to that conversation, I obviously had to do some sort of like an online test where they test my grammar in English, German, and basic math skills. I really thought I failed there, but if they invited me, then I really did not fail, I guess. What I really want to say is, it's not luck, it's not being flawless, it's not being the smartest. It just, you have to kind of put yourself out there. But I did it because at the end of the day, that was how my future gonna look like. And if I did not want a future, then I wouldn't have a job now, right? So you just have to kind of like push, and once you're done with it, you're just gonna feel that okay, it wasn't that bad. I don't know why I was doing all that while these people were so nice. That's how it was for me. I got home and I was like, okay, why did I overthink so much? It wasn't that bad. The people were so nice. So really, you don't have to be perfect. You sometimes they really just want to see your character, your personality, and they just want to get to know you. So you shouldn't make it too job focused. You have to make it about you, because my first poster was more about job related things, right? Like what traits I have that fit to the job and those stuff, like really job related stuff. And then the second one I made was more about myself. And I'm actually really happy I took the one that was more about myself than one job related, because you have to talk a lot so they can get a better picture. And when it's like job related and you have no idea whatever you're saying, they can tell. They can tell you have no idea what you're saying, right? So yeah, they can tell. So please make it more about yourself and take the safer route. You won't regret it. Because what was hard for me to realize was that I was actually prepared the whole time. I just had to go there and put myself out there, but I was prepared the whole time. I just didn't really feel the need of putting myself out there and talking to people. I don't know. And that's probably why the first five failed and I declined it, because I didn't put myself out there. How was I expecting something? I was so unsure the whole talk. Like I was sitting there like this, right? Like this was what was going on under the table. Did I see it? I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. But I still talk a lot, even though I was unsure, because if I sit there in silence, I won't get anything from the fact. Like I made it so far just to sit there, not talk, and obviously I was really nervous the entire time, especially after the rest failed. How was I supposed to feel sure after I got declined 5 times? How was that supposed to happen? But I didn't. But if I waited for confidence, I wouldn't have anything from it, and I would still be in the same spot of not having a job and not knowing what to do after school. I would probably, if I didn't get a job, I would probably go to college, hopefully pass good, and then, I don't know, man, try again for a job. So yeah, now I'm gonna be working at a bank as a bank employee, and then after I'm done, because this is gonna take 2.5 years, and then after I'm done, I'm probably gonna go to a university and just work myself up. So me and my friend, I have a friend, so me and my friend, we once had to present ourselves, like I presented him and he presented me in computer class, right? So we had to write the traits down that the other person has, and not just random facts about them. We both wrote for each other hates people. Not literally, right? We don't like hate people. We're just like kind of introverted, but we both will work at a bank. Just not the same one, and we won't even go to the same school, which if you ask me, it's kind of sad, because I'm gonna be in this big school and I don't even know where my classroom is gonna be. Like I would get there and be late on my first day, because like it's so big. How would I find my classroom? But it's gonna be okay, because at the end of the day, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who's new there, so there are going to be more people to relate, and hopefully not everyone knows where their classroom is except for me. So yeah. I start 1st of September, and first 2 weeks that we have kind of like where they tell you how to do stuff, and I don't know, I have no idea. They will probably just explain the basics, like what you have to do, what you can do, and stuff like that. there will probably be something about how you dress, because you can't really wear like sweatpants to a bank when you work there. That's kind of no. I think I will get a name tag. I think, I'm not sure, because I've seen people having that, so you know, maybe I'll get one. And hopefully the whole 2.5 year will pass good. But since I have this channel, you guys will hear from it from time to time. You know, I will like update you a little bit. That was it for this video. It was probably a really short one. After I edited, it's probably gonna be 10 minutes maybe. But it's okay. It's okay. It's more a talk video. It's not really some advice, some, I don't know, some other stuff, just storytelling. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it and actually got to know me a little bit, since I can't really say I hope you guys learned something, because what was there to learn? Nothing. So yeah, have a great evening, day, night, whatever, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!